Hi, we're back. We're going to do our next signature for our album. And it is going to be number 3. We're only going to have one left, but we got the 2 pockets, but we're going to do those at the end. I want to see what we have left for your pattern papers. So this is the piece I picked here for our base. These cute little bunnies. The reverse side, so this is out of the 12 by 12. The reverse side has these elements on it. This is going to measure at 8 3/8 across. And you're going to be 8 5/8 in the height. Now I'm doing a pocket down here on the bottom because in my scratch I have this piece, but it's a little bit wider. I just simply cut it down, this bunny being my focal point. So we're going to make a pocket and it's going to go down here across the bottom, and then I'm going to put a little bit of crocheted ribbon right here. I tried to fit one of the bunnies out of the ephemera pack, but it was really not the, I wanted to do a little bit of a raise here, but I couldn't get any of them to work. They were either too small or very large, and an awkward large, because it wasn't, it's not like I could hide this. All right, so I'm stammering. Let's move on. I just really wanted to play with that bunny. All right. Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay, so this, I ended up cutting this down to 2 1/4 inches by your 8 3/8 across. Okay. Set that down there. Run it across the bottom. And then we're going to take some glue. I like to play with my scrap pieces if there's a nice element in it that I can accent, show off, then I will do that. There we go, and then my tape. I'm going to start at this end. That way I could trim off the excess at this end, because there we go. Okay, so we're going to work with, we're going to have 2 panels that are going to open up. And our first panel, which will be on the right-hand side, is going to measure 4 3/4 across by your 8 5/8 with a 1/2 inch score. I wrote those upside down. But anyways, so we're going to bring this right up to this 1/2 inch score line, and then we're just going to fold it over. And it's the exact same measurement for the left side, 4 3/4 by 8 5/8 with a 1/2 inch score. All right, so that panel is in. Now we're going to put on our next panels and then we'll start to decorate. So your right side panel, the second one, is going to measure at 4 7/8 across by your 8 5/8. But this time you're going to score it at a 1/2 and you're going to score it at 5/8. So that's going to wrap this way. And we want, you're going to create a little bit of a gusset right here, and we want that to be on the end. So you're going to rest this right across that 5/8 score line, if I can do it without moving it. Let me put this back so that when you fold this over, you've created this nice little flat gusset line. Now you're going to do that again, same measurements, 4 7/8 by 8 5/8. You're going to score it at a 1/2 inch, and then you're going to score it at 5/8 of an inch. And you're going to do the same thing. On this side, you are going to come up here like so. Something's interfering here. I'm butting into the other page, so it's not letting me come all the way up here. All right, so right smack in the middle, I want that to come over. And then these two will also meet again. Now, I'm going to push back a little bit on some of these score lines, just so that I can encourage the okay, there we go. All right, so now they're as close as I can get them. All right, now following with the inside, I picked this beautiful pink striped paper, and across the bottom we are going to make a pocket. On both sides. So then we have this floral theme cutting straight across here. And I am going to put a little bit of lace so that that continues across. Let's get these on first. This being the inner flaps, I'm not worried about magnets keeping it closed. In fact, I don't think we're going to do a magnet if this all works out right. And lay this down here. Now this little guy, I gotta put some tape on it. Whoops, wrong one. This little pocket piece here measures at 4 1/8 across by 2 1/4 in the height. All right, so we're going to take these apart. And I'm going to line up. I need to put a piece of paper here so I can see the edge because I'm seeing double corners there. All right, so I'm going to come up to this corner here first, lay it down, because if I'm going to come up short, I would rather come up short up next to our score mark here. And then this piece here is actually the back side of this. And there's this beautiful little strip that has this wonderful, playful statement. And we're going to put that right there. And then I'm going to put some tape on here. Probably would be nice if it was the same all the way across, because I have been playing with two different styles of this, just simply because I didn't know if I would have enough to go all the way through the album with one piece. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to come across, and then I'm going to trim it. Okay, and now we're going to go over here to this side. And again, I want to put a piece of paper here so I can see the two different corners. And then we'll line her up here, lay it down. There. Measurements should be the same as the other pocket over here on the right. And again, I'm going to start at this corner, and then I'm going to come into the seam here. I'm going to lay this down. Start again. Oh, and by the way, when you're laying ribbon on a fold, you need to kind of back off of it just a little bit so that it doesn't bunch up and prevent your flat from closing. If you come right up to this, then you're going to have an issue. And if I have an issue here, I will have to pull them, and it's a good thing I use tape. So I'll give this another little good burnish, encourage that. Okay, so that's what we have. Now, we've got some rub-ons that we could put up here in the corners. However, I'm trying to leave some space here that you can put in some fixed photos. So I'll leave that optional to you if you want to put on some rub-ons. So let's move to this inside piece. All right, so from your 12 by 12 patterns and solids, I picked this piece right here. and it's gonna sit here like so. And then I'm gonna make a little tuck, a lengthwise tuck. I gotta run some tape on it. But I went to my scraps and I found this blue, so we had some contrast, but then I needed to break that up. So in your sticker pack, there is this long green piece. I cut it in half and I centered it, and then I broke it up once again with one of the sticker butterflies. So the first thing I need to do to finish this is to get some tape on it. And then get the piece down. Okay, let's get this piece down and then we can put this all together. Now, these are all cut to fit. And I leave approximately 1/8 of an inch or 1/18 of an inch. Just a slight little edge all the way around. I don't want big gaps. The cardstock shouldn't be the focal point. It should simply be the complement. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get these two pieces put together. Okay, I think I got it. All right, now what I'd like to do, oh, you know what? I'm gonna probably have to switch these. I'm gonna have to switch them. Put this one over here. I've got the exact same thing going on the left side. What I meant to do was run the tape on this side so that I could put this tuck like this, just off just a little bit so that there's a pattern behind it. So then you're coming in and you're tucking this way. So let's go ahead and put this on the correct side. And it's the same thing, the dark blue to give us some contrast, and then the green to help break it up, and then the butterfly as your accent. I just stuck all kinds of tape over the edges there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put these two together. There we go. Now, when I make these side pocket tucks like this, I don't come all the way to the edge, and it depends upon how big the flap is as to how close I get to the edge. I just want to see an accent behind here, and it also keeps the additional bulk of this off this seam line. All right, so let's go over and let's fix this side. I'm going to glue this in. This is going to go kind of fast since I already have that piece put together. just realized the other thing I was going to do. Almost forgot. I'm going to run some of that crocheted ribbon down the side. See, so I'm just going to come in just a wee bit. And then I'm going to lift this here. I don't have these stickers down very firmly yet. Then I'll put this back and then really secure it down. And then we're going to come over here and do the same thing. Just lift that up gently. And I'm gonna put this here and really secure it this time. And there we go. Now, the next piece will be to cover these. All right, so over here, we are using the striped pattern piece out of the 12 by 12, and we've cut to fit. And again, we're going to put another pocket here at the base with some ribbon, and then we're going to do the same over here. Now this piece is the cut for this is coming up. So we're going to go ahead and get the pockets in, but then you're going to have to come back after we've made our cuts on the next piece of paper to have your pieces for this. And again, I'm not going to worry about any magnets because I'm hoping that the closure that I have worked out is going to work. Okay. Now this pocket, and the measurements will be the same because both of the panel pieces are the same. So 2.5 or 2 1/4 by 4 1/4 inches. Okay, so now we're going to put this pocket piece in, and again I'm going to come down here to this corner, lay this across and secure it.
Go to St. Peter's.
Now I cut that too big. This is supposed to have a gusset in here. And when I cut this, it brought it all the way up to this line. So I have to take this apart and I've got to cut it down. So here's where we have a fix. If you're not familiar with this product, it's called Undo. It's a remover, doesn't affect your photos or anything, but it does lift the adhesive tape so that you can make your necessary trims like I need to do right now. So I'm going to put this back down because my tape is here. And I'm just going to come right here and look at that. I've got to cut quite a bit of this off. I'll give you the new measurement here in 2 shakes. All right, so this is going to measure at 4 1/8 across. So I should be able to just lay this back down on that tape. And now I'm right where I need to be, but I have all this excess tape in here that I don't want to have. And while it's still in a state where I can lift it, I'm just going to peel that out of there. Beauty of Undo. So if you've never heard of it before, it's wonderful. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish mine, and then when we get to the next cut, you will see where this is going to come from. And now that I know I did that, I will have to look at the next piece that's coming up. And keep in mind, you're going to pull this in just slightly so that you're not bunching up in here. We're going to lay it down, and we're going to cut off this excess. All right, now let's go ahead and let's put in this piece over here. Okay. Now let me double check this. It's going to come from in here, out here. I can shave just a hair of this. I don't know how I got that other one so big. All right, let's get some tape on this. Okay. And again, we're going to start on this outside corner because we want that flush. And then I'm perfect, right where I need to be. And then I'm going to add this little piece. Now, there's some embellishments that I could do here on the bottom of these, but I think I'm going to wait till I get the album done, and then I will see what I have and I will come back. Now, you are free to make those changes, do whatever you want to do. You can add stickers. This would be perfect for a rub-on. Oh, I just had that brain. Okay, we're going to come in just a hair. And then we're going to lay this down. And I'm going to do just a little tiny edge trim. All right, so this is what it's going to look like when it's finished. This is your internal, and then you have this piece, and now we're going to work on the outside. So this is the floral piece that I used. It has lots of words on it. It's green on the back side. That's where I got the green for this. So this is out of your 12 by 12. And I cut and trimmed. Let me see. I think this is probably going to look better if they had Best Day Smile Springtime this way and then Delightful Flowers on this side over here. Now I'm not using any magnets. I'm going to create kind of a gate closure. So I'm going to be a brave girl here and get this all put together. Beautiful springtime piece here. Just line it up there. Lay this down. Okay, so this is what we're going to play with. That's going to go on this side. And then this is going to go on this side. So from your scraps, I found this piece. It is from your Patterns and Solids. There, without cutting into another piece of paper, this was the scrap piece that was available. So I made the pockets to fit accordingly. So when we get this all done, we're going to use this as our gatekeeper. So you can flip it to either side. This piece came out of the 8 by 8 when I put it on to cut it, and this was out of the scraps. This is a 12 by 12 scrap. So this piece, a piece of paper and a pencil so you can write these down. The length here is 4 1/4 inches. The height is 3 inches. You're going to come in from this corner, you're going to come in 2 inches and make a mark. Then down here, you're going to come in up 1 inch, make a mark, and then you're going to cut the diagonal between the two marks. And you're going to do that for both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and get my tape put on. Now, I'm not taping this short edge because we need to leave that open for our tag to come in and close. So you're only going to tape the bottom and your right side on this piece, and it'll be the bottom and the left side on this piece. Okay, so I'm going to come down here in this corner. Okay, so I need to trim this down about 1/8 of an inch. So I gotta pick this up. All right, we're gonna change the length. And that's okay because we're gonna go shorter instead. I think we're gonna go at 4 inches. Let me turn this over. Now, why does it line up there, but it didn't line up this? Oh, you know what? Let me try something, because I thought I had this measured out right. Here in the corner to here, but when I close it, I'm going to take a fraction of an inch off. So you're going to be about 4 1/16. I just don't want this hanging over the edge. And you've got this gusset right here that we need to be mindful of. So I'm taking it off. Well, that's a much better fit. I'm taking it off this end, not this end. And then this piece is cut to fit. And how I did that was I cut my length, I cut my height, and then I came in here and made my tick marks again, and then I cut it at the diagonal. Now, if it didn't work the first time, and you're going to need to cut paper because you don't have anything that's going to fit this, take it out of the 8x8. I don't want you pulling out of the 12x12 just for this small of a scrap. Okay. And now I'm just going to double check. Oh, that one's going to be okay. So get rid of that excess tape that's hanging there. Come down here to this corner, line this up, and come all the way over here to the edge. All right, so now the same thing. I cut this one the same way. All right, now in your ephemera, there's this cluster of flowers. There's 3 of them. So I'm putting them on with a little blue flower in the center. And then for the other side, there is this pattern of butterflies. So I'm going to line them up, and I'm going to put a blue flower in the center, and it's going to go over here. All right, easy. So it's just a matter of gluing, and all I'm going to really glue is the body. I'd like to have the wings somewhat flexible so that you could lift them and make them look like they're doing some flying thing. Bend these up while I'm squishing that down into the glue. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. And then this flower. Just a little bit right here in the body. And then I'm only going to glue here and the antennae. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing over here. I am simply going to glue the centers. And then a little dab here for the floral. And the same thing, I'm not going to commit the entire floral piece. I want there to be a little bit of movement, so we're going to pick these up, flick them up. I'm pressing down while I glue it so that it doesn't, as I'm picking at these, that it doesn't. So there you go. All right, so that's our piece. Now you're going to come in here with this, and that's going to keep this whole thing intact. Now again, I made a little tuck here out of one of the ephemera pieces. This was the other side. This came from scratch, and this came from your 8x8s. So then you can set this in here. Now, this is kind of blank, but the intention is you're either going to hand journal here, you're going to put a small photo here, a memento, or you're going to take and embellish it so that it's your album. Now, I did use some of the ribbon once again and one of the brass pieces for the attaching to the tag. So let me cap off my glue so it doesn't dry up on me. And let's turn it over and let's get our tape going here. And then we'll get it in the album. And center support. All right, album. And this one's going to sit right in here like so. All right. So I'm going to take this off, these two off, and then I'm going to turn this so I can see 3 of the 4 sides. I'm bringing this right up to the edge. And then I'm making sure that I've got it level before I commit. Now, I'm going to go through the painful process of opening this all up, and then we can burnish what tape we do have for contact. Once again, with the build-up, I guess it does want to do its own thing. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to flatten this edge out before I commit it down. That will keep it from rolling on me. All right, let's get this burnished. All right, look at what we got done there. Pretty cool. All right, you guys, we're done with this one. We'll swing on around and we'll finish up the last parts of this. Until then, bye-bye.